Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Check it out. It is the FIFISH V6 underwater submarine ROV, and today we are going to do a pool test. As you can see, I'm right here in the backyard. I like to do these kinds of tests where we just, before I go out in the ocean in kind of a risky environment, I really like to have a really in-depth kind of training experience, and I decided to bring you guys along with me just to really see how these things function. We have high visibility so we can see it in the water. We'll test the lights out and just see how all the controls do. We'll also do a little bit of VR with it. I'm not going to put it in the goggles in this one. We'll wait for the ocean to do the VR goggles, but if we put it in that VR mode, we should be able to actually move the phone around and see if we can control it that way. So this will be exciting, just the initial water test to see how this V6 does in the water. Let's get started. Check out the playlist on this. I will have it pop up here because the unboxing's there. Of course, this video's there, and also have the ocean tests. I am going to take this out on my boat, and I live in Hawaii, and so we're going to get some awesome underwater footage. I'm going to explore some wrecks underwater, so don't miss that. Before we start, this is the buoyancy module, right here. I just unscrewed it from the bottom. Since we're in fresh water, we should need to take this extra weight off. And then we just take this center little Allen screw out. Yeah, so you see that weight just kind of pop out there? That's the buoyancy weight. And all I'm going to do is just kind of put this thing back in as it is. Just an empty piece of plastic. Let's see which way, that way. So the point is facing to the back. And then all we'll do is we'll put these two screws back in just to lock it in. I could leave it off, of course, but you know, you'll have that kind of hole in the bottom. So that's really how easy it is to change the buoyancy module. So fresh water, take it out. Salt water, put that sucker back in, and that's a good like 8 ounces, about maybe even close to 10. This is kind of the tether little anchor here with our little loop. So we just loop that up there and then take off our little cap here, put on the tether to the actual sub, push it in and screw that sucker in tight. And so you see how that is not going anywhere. So today I am using the reel and the reel stand. Now this is only a 50-meter tether. They are supposed to be sending me 100-meter for the ocean test, so I hope they follow through with that. But this just goes right into the controller right here. All you need to do is turn this on and go. Before I even turn it on, I'm going to throw this in the water, making sure the connection's on tight, because once we turn it on, it should kind of get its depth as the surface. And so we're just holding on the power button here on the controller, and that actually turns on the whole sub and the controller all in one. We're looking at these lights here. Once they stop flashing, we kind of know it's finished booting up. Go ahead and connect. So there we go. Immediately we can see that we have video. Cool. And so the lights, we'll turn on the lights first before I turn off this spotlight here, just so we can have some light in the pool. So there's kind of our medium and our high. Wow, that is super bright. It's looking great. So go on medium first, and then I'm going to turn off this little cool little spotlight I have going on here, so we can just really concentrate on the lights in the pool. So let's go ahead and press unlock here. Let's see what the sub does. Okay, just pressed unlock. It's not in depth lock, so if I want to go in depth lock, I press this right button on the controller. So let me go down a little bit with that left roller to the left, and then I'm going to depth lock it right about a foot down. Boom, depth lock. So left thumbstick is pulling back, and I can pitch up. Look at that 3D movement. That's so cool. And as I let off, it just locks that position and stays there. So let's see if it can lock like this, and let's see what happens. Nope, when I pull back, it's going to go back in that angle. Let's go ahead and try to see what this right roller does. Okay, wow, that is a strafe left to right. That's so cool. So see what that's doing? Let me go ahead and, I gotta get used to these controls. I want to come back It's just like a drone, guys. You're pulling back on the right stick and it's basically just coming back at you. That's like the pitch of a drone. And then you're turning left and right your head with your left stick yaw, right stick forward. I know I'm repeating this, but it's just so unusual to have a sub that has so many degrees of freedom. And then of course, watch this rolling. Right stick. You can just roll and lock. Look at that. So what if we're sideways? Gosh, this is getting confusing. Sideways and then I pull back. Wow. You can just do everything. Man, there's so many degrees of freedom, it gets kind of confusing. So this is going to take a little training, and I'm glad I did this in the pool before I took this in the ocean, because you really want to learn the controls like this. So remember the strafing, right? That's so cool. No other drone that I know of can do that. That's so awesome. And it goes fast too, guys. Let's go back up, and then we'll pull back to come back towards us. So this is where you're going to need to like really adjust your pitch while you're pulling back, because it seems to want to go really at the exact angle you have your pitch, and that's the way it will follow. I thought stabilize would kind of be, once you took everything off, it would go to a neutral position. But what this is it's kind of like a basically an acro, where it stays, but it's in stabilize. Let me try to go into the A mode. There's this little A switch on the top left of the controller, so I'm going to switch the toggle. And let's see what this does. Okay. What's this doing? Down, up. Okay, a lot more mellow now. I can't roll anymore. Okay, so maybe the A is like more of the stabilize. Okay, so stay in the A position for an easier type of control. You can still go up and down, but it's a lot more mellow and slow. I'm just going up and down here. I'm still in depth lock. Okay, so let's try to strafe right in this A mode. Woo, we can still do it, and it's pretty fast. Let's see if this roller is proportional. Yes, it is. So I can go very, very slow in my strafing, or very, very fast. There's slow and then fast. That's so cool. So you can like trace like a turtle or an object from the side and follow it sideways. Or you could even do it like a orbit. Let's try like an orbit around like a center point here in the pool. Let's see how it does. So I'll be controlling my yaw on my left stick while I'm doing a strafe left. Let's try it. There we go. Look at that. You can do like a circle around point. Now I'm just going down a little bit. I just don't want to get too high or too low. Right about there. Let's try it again. Left, and then I'm just kind of adding a little bit of yaw. Look at this. You can do like a modified manual circle around point. Maybe we'll do like some coral heads and try it. Getting a little bit of bucking there. You see how it's trying to adjust itself maybe for level? So that's what the A mode does, is it takes out the roll. There's so many controls, I just forget. I can still do my pitch and it locks. You see that? Let's see if we can go all the way around. Yep. You can just do somersaults, but no roll. Okay, in the A mode. I want to look at just the FPV and show you guys the FPV real quick and see if there's any glitchiness. This thing looks rock solid. A lot of subs have the occasional like glitch. The latency on this thing is incredible so far. And all I'm doing is just trying to like look at the FPV for a while. And I honestly have not seen one glitch whatsoever. So it's looking really good. Okay, here we go. This is the mode you want to be in, A, if you want to have it pitched at a certain angle, right, with your left stick, and you want it to stay at that angle while you move. I'm slowly pulling back, and it is not going down. It's keeping its pitch, and it's going in like a horizontal motion backwards. Hopefully you can kind of see that in my hat cam. Let me turn the lights to high. So this right toggle, boom. Look at that. That's high mode. I should have been in high mode earlier so you guys can see what's going on. This is incredible. So we have so many options, so many more options than any other sub I've ever reviewed or tested. So we'll go ahead and stay pitched up like this, and I want to show you close up. If I push forward, it's not going down, it's just going forward with a pitch up, and it does it very, very well. FPV is still rock solid. We'll try to go up a little bit, not too high, and we'll go ahead and pitch down and try that same maneuver while we're looking at the bottom. Okay, oop, I don't want to go too high. See if it can maintain that. So I'm going to pull back on my right stick now. And look at that. It's maintaining. Let's see if I go really fast. Holy smokes. If I go back, it's maintaining it. Let's see if it can do it going forward or if it hits the bottom. Wow, look at this. It's not even hitting the bottom. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is it, guys. So far, and no, this is no joke, the best maneuverable sub I have ever experienced. Look at those lights, they're just pretty blinding. This is 4,000 lumens, so you're gonna get some great light down there in the deep. All right, so remember, A mode is the one you want to be in if you want to do that pitch, horizontal pitch hold and move. Okay. This is something that they're going to need to take care of. Look at this kind of bucking once in a while. I want to show you this close up. Don't want to drop the controller in the water. It's not waterproof. But do you see, hopefully you can see the sub in my hat cam. Do you see how it's trying to stabilize once in a while? It's kind of doing this little bit of a buck maneuver. This video does have stabilization, electronic stabilization option. I don't think I'm in that right now, but hopefully that can kind of take care of that little bit of bucking and something they can hopefully work out. But incredible. Yeah, you can see it when I go fast too. But phenomenal. Full throttle and turning in A mode. I'm not touching any altitude or depth. And look at this, it's keeping within inches its depth. It's not going high, it's not going low. This is a very, very precise machine here. Excellent. Any other sub I've tested has eventually, in that much maneuvering, would have hit the bottom or come out of the water. So that is amazing. Very, very good. You want to have super control, switch into S mode, and you just have full-on rolling capability. That's just so cool. And it's much faster. Well, not really that much faster in the yacht. It seems about the same, but that's the Acro, okay? S mode is Acro. So you're really gonna have to be good at like Acro flying, because you can just do anything you want. Whoa! See, then you get discombobulated. Let's try to go back into A mode there. Go down! I can tell this is going to be a very, very fun machine in the water, in the ocean. I'm really looking forward to it. Oops, so we're caught on the bottom of the motor. There we go, just freed itself. So hopefully that doesn't happen in the water. Since the motors do have that, let me just come forward and show you this. Whoa, Bucking Bronco here. Get my controls. You see how the motors do have like those little duck things that stick out? I know the lights are right in there, but check out the unboxing video if you want to see more in depth on how they look. But on the front and the back of the motor, there's those little like nubs. So the tether was just kind of hooking up to it briefly. So let's go into VR right there. So I'm just clicking on VR on the screen, and I need to move this toggle on the left over to C mode. Let's see what happens. I want to make sure my phone's like level and tight so it doesn't fall in the water when I move it around. So I'm switching into C mode. Wow, it just turned. Whoa, this is cool. See what I'm doing here? Whoa. So you're going to have room to turn around because I'm moving my phone and it's yawing left and right. I'm not touching any controls right now. And then my phone pitching back, like if I was lifting my head up. Look at what the drone's doing. Cool. You're still going to have to use the left roller to adjust your altitude or your depth. You can still get kind of a neat looking experience, looking around and you're still going to have to move forward, right? So let's see what happens. It seems like it's kind of going down a little bit. Let's see what happens if, let me back up here so I'm not like at the wrong angle. So we'll back up. I keep forgetting I'm in like VR mode. Okay, there we go. What did I want to do? I wanted to go forward. So you're really gonna have to pay attention to your pitching, guys. And I want to go forward, and then I'm going to go down and up. Okay, so no, in this VR mode, there is not going to be any horizontal stabilized pitch control. Gosh, I have to move around like this. Sorry about that. This is incredible. Okay, so we know that the VR mode works relatively well. Let's see if we can strafe while we're in this mode too. So yeah, we can strafe left, and then I'm going to turn. Awesome. So you can do multiple actions. I'm turning my phone, lifting my head up and down as I'm strafing. That's so cool. But you're just going to have to get used to it. It's going to take a while to get used to. Oh, and if you, okay, you can correct it. There we go. That's what I was wondering. If it is the wrong angle for you, go ahead and put some yaw in with your controller and let off, and it just goes ahead and starts from that direction, lets you take over control with your VR. So that's awesome. And is it the same for the pitch? Let's see. Oops, wrong button. Let's see if I can put some pitch in. No, so it completely turned off my pitch. That's only going to be in VR mode, controllable with your phone. Okay, but you can readjust your yaw whenever you want. Going into A mode again, and then I'm pressing back to get out of VR mode. Incredible. So this thing is working really good. And remember, guys, we have different ways to control it. I'm in USA. Let's see what Japan does. It should switch things around. So yaw is the same. Now the forward and back is on the left stick. Remember, that was the pitch. Forward and back on the left stick with the yaw. And then pitch is on the right stick. Okay, so this may be better if you're a drone pilot. And then right rolling left and right doesn't work in the A mode, remember? So this may be the one. If you're a drone pilot, this one may be a little more familiar to you, since the pitch is on the right. Yeah, that's probably the one I'm going to use. Cool. And then, of course, you're going to have to go up and down with your left roller. And strafing is still the same. Yep. That's so cool. You can strafe. Look at this. I'm going sideways and I'm yawing. Man. Okay, man. This is just going to be so much fun in the water. Oh, don't spray the controller. Remember, do not get this controller wet. So I wouldn't get close to yourself and splash on the controller. Okay, so depth lock is off, but this seems like the perfect buoyancy, guys. Let me just kind of go around. Remember, I could do this with depth lock on. It's going a little bit more up and down. Now it's kind of coming to the surface. That's our full speed. So it doesn't seem like there's really any speed modes. It's just this one, and you're just gonna have to feather it with your thumb and control your speed. Well, there it is, guys, the V6. Sorry if that was kind of long and drug out, but really like to go in depth in these things, and this guy looks like it's pretty darn good. It's that strafing, you know. Let me bring it out of the water and we'll talk about it real quick. Let's go back in a depth hold. That depth hold is just really, really good. Awesome. These lights are amazing too. There's lights off. I like how you can quickly just adjust the lights. That seems like it's going to be fine. Off, low, high, or medium high. Maybe if you're like a super pro photographer and you needed specific lighting, more gradual, that might be a pain for you, but I don't see too much problem with it. Here's what we'll do. I'll just kind of stop the depth lock, and I'm just going to power the whole thing off, holding in the controller. Let me see if it floats up. Nice. Okay, so it's going to float up because it doesn't have that weight on it. So definitely do that for fresh water. And we can just pull this bad boy up here. I'm just holding it by the tether. That thing's going to hold a couple 100 pounds if you wanted to. Then you can grab it by this handle. I don't know, I've seen somebody else say don't grab it by the handle, but I don't see any problem with it. It seems strong enough. Maybe just don't like hold it like this and tweak it up and down like that. Just, you know, carry it like that. So anyway guys, what can we say about the FIFISH V6 in this initial water test? I think it is amazing. The couple of things you saw that they can work on was that little bit of bucking when it's in the A mode. So for some reason A is the stabilize and S is the acro mode. It seems like that should be switched around, so maybe something else they can work on there. Remember this one here, this got A, S, and C. The VR mode, the C mode, my goodness, that thing is going to be so fun in the ocean. Remember, we can move like this and like this, our pitch and our yaw, turning the head. We still have to control our forward, back, up and down, and strafing on the controller. And the strafing, my gosh, that thing works so good. So you can do like circle around point of interest manually. Amazing. Now it does have that image stabilization. I'm going to turn that on in the ocean and see if it kind of helps at all. So we'll turn that off and on in the ocean test. And that pitch, lock, and move, moving forward and backward and strafing while you're pitch lock, that worked amazingly well in the A setting. And that's going to be really fun to try out too. Just like following fish from above, pitch down, and moving forward to follow it, or do whatever you want. Pitch up, you know, looking at holes of boats and inspecting them, and just being able to move forward without it going up or down. That's going to be really, really useful for a lot of people. And it seemed pretty quick. I'm going to have to maybe explore it a little bit more, see if there's different speeds, but I really only saw one speed. It's just as much as you push the stick, that's going to be the max speed, or the least amount is going to be a really slow speed. So you're going to have to really control your thumbs on this one. Anyway guys, I had super fun doing this with you in the pool, and don't forget, we are doing a full series on this. Next up is on the boat, and we're going to go explore some wrecks. At least one, if not two of those. And then also I'm going to possibly take this up to that river pond, a waterfall pond here in Maui too, and look for my Mavic, since it has such a good pitch and hold and all that stuff it can do. Links in the description as usual, and I will see you guys in the further test of the V6. Thanks for watching. Wow, we still got 83% power left. That's pretty good for blasting the lights and doing all that stuff we did.